Phil Mickelson's been attracting attention for all the wrong reasons the past few months. The former champion's glory days seem to be behind him, and his insensitive comments on his move to LIV went over so bad he ended up going on a hiatus. Not to mention, he hasn't really been playing well after his return either. In this video, we'll be taking a look at Mickelson's recent mediocre performance, so stay tuned. First off, Phil Mickelson's got a bad track record after his controversial LIV comments. Phil Mickelson used to be a highly adored golfer, but his popularity has taken a serious hit recently. The golfer criticized the Saudi-backed LIV in an interview, saying that he was aware of their human rights problem and called them scary mother. Apparently, though, these people aren't scary when they're hanging millions of dollars in front of you. That's right. After criticizing the tour and going on a 3-month hiatus soon after, Phil decided to join the LIV. Mickelson signed a $200 million deal, saying that he wanted to get the upper hand over the PGA Tour. That isn't exactly working out the best for him. The 6-time champion seems to have lost his touch, placing surprisingly low on the charts, with no signs of upping his game anytime soon. This is going to be extremely problematic for the golfer's career, seeing as he completely ditched the PGA for the LIV, even though he'd spoken up against the Saudi-backed tour before his 4-month break. In the end, things aren't going well for Phil, and he's completely failing to appease his fans. He's already got the internet talking about him, and they sure aren't saying anything nice. Next up, Phil's become a Saudi sport washing poster child for golf fans. The 52-year-old 6-time champion isn't immune to heckling. The Trump National Golf Club hosted a LIV event this Friday, and Phil had to hear a few rude comments from the crowd. It's well known that the LIV's been under fire for being Saudi-backed ever since it was established. The country's said to have had multiple issues with human rights, especially since 9/11. And since people believe the country's most likely to sport wash, any golfer that joins the LIV is highly criticized for helping them reach their goal. PGA loyalists have taken to calling these golfers rebels, so it's understandable that Phil lost his composure a bit when a man from the crowd shouted, "Do it for the Saudi royal family," as he was about to get underway for his shotgun on the par 3 16th. As the shout reached his ear, Phil backed away from the ball, and the crowd grumbled about it. But the golfer was able to gather himself and knock his tee shot into a greenside bunker. He then went on to bogey the hole. Phil was asked whether it disappointed him to get jeered at like that, and he answered with a firm no. He said that he had a really good day. These people had always treated him well, and he enjoyed playing in this area. Something simple like that wouldn't stop him from having a good day. On top of that, it's obvious the former champion's lost his touch, and his heyday is long gone. Phil might have been satisfied, but his fans sure weren't. Not that they can be blamed. The golfer didn't give them much to cheer about. Phil was playing in a 48-man field and only managed to beat 3 players. He shot a 4 over 75, which placed him over Saddam Kekwanjana, Henny Duplessis, and Jediah Morgan. Sure, he tried his best, but despite that, his team, which included Matthew Wolff, Bernd Weisenberg, and Justin Harding, only managed to tie for the 8th position. LIV is the only shot he has. Phil, like all the other golfers who defected to the LIV, has been suspended from PGA tours, meaning that they missed the cut last month at the US Open and the British Open, which took place just earlier this month. But LIV isn't going great for him either. The golfer placed 40th in the 48-player LIV event that took place outside of London, and 33rd in its stop outside Portland, Oregon. After everything, ever since Phil joined the LIV, he's a combined 24 over in the 7 rounds he's played. Not to mention, this Friday included 3 putting each of his last 2 holes, and he managed to turn a birdie opportunity on the par 5 15th into a bogey. When asked about this, he said that he too was feeling frustrated at his game. Lefty also mentioned that he didn't feel lost, he just wasn't scoring. Like his fans, Phil also expected more from himself, and his constant failures are really starting to frustrate him. We'll have to wait and see whether he plays better from here. Still, Mickelson stands by his decision to join LIV to help golf reach a wider audience. Apparently, the real reason Phil moved to LIV doesn't center around money. The golfer said that there were two reasons that, in his personal opinion, made the LIV better than the PGA. Firstly, it aims to attract a more international audience. While in the PGA, golfers are allowed to choose their event of choice. This isn't the case for the LIV. The LIV will have events in 4 countries just this year, with more variety in the coming ones. Secondly, the 52-year-old thinks that if a streaming partner comes about, LIV will be able to push golf's viewership to all ages. Currently, golf has an average viewer age of 64. While reaching a wider audience may be possible, there aren't any streaming partners currently available to the LIV. Now, in other news. First off, Davis Love says LIV players are fed up with the PGA. The United States President's Cup captain, Davis Love III, who named Steve Striker and Webb Simpson as his final assistant captains for the team event against the Internationals next month, says that he was surprised to see top PGA players lured away by LIV Golf's lucrative purses. He said that he told his own tournament that no one other than Phil Mickelson would jump ship, but he was wrong. Love said that although he doesn't know what's going to happen from now on, there will be a fight, and that players are getting more and more unified against it. The third $25 million event of LIV Golf took place in New Jersey last week. It was won by Henrik Stenson from Sweden after he was axed as Europe's 2023 Ryder Cup captain. Other players participating in the LIV include Louis Oosthuizen, Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, Sergio Garcia, Patrick Reed, and Paul Casey. If the situation doesn't improve, Love believes players might soon start boycotting events LIV golfers are allowed to participate in. Next up, LIV golfers file a trust lawsuit against the PGA over suspensions. Bryson DeChambeau, Phil Mickelson, and 11 other golf players participating in the Saudi-backed LIV golf tournament have filed an antitrust lawsuit at the federal court in the Northern District of California against the United States PGA Tour. To be able to compete in next week's playoffs, some players have resorted to asking for a restraining order. Taylor Gooch, Hudson Swafford of America, and Matt Jones of Australia have all requested temporary restraining orders to compete in the first PGA Tour FedEx Cup playoff event next week at Memphis. The lawsuit mainly disputes the indefinite suspensions that Jay Moran, the PGA commissioner, applied upon the players who took part in any of LIV Golf's first 3 events. The result of the lawsuit will ultimately establish whether the golfers are free agents or tour members, making the punishments and rules of the PGA Tour applicable to them. LIV Golf has offered record-breaking $25 million purses and huge sign-up bonuses, resulting in a number of top players signing up despite Saudi Arabia's controversial human rights status. Finally, Trump's LIV event is selling tickets for as little as $1 and still not drawing much of a crowd. Reportedly, tickets for the Saudi-funded LIV golf tournament are selling for as low as $1 at Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, after the event was unable to reel in a big audience. According to the Wall Street Journal, the tickets were sold for $1 on StubHub, and small crowds were spread across the vast grounds. The Sovereign Wealth Fund, overseen by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is bankrolling the circuit. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has been widely criticized for hosting the event at his golf course, despite the controversy regarding Saudi Arabia's human rights abuse. The 9/11 Justice Group denounced Trump for hosting the tournament and protested nearby on Thursday. Throughout the event, Trump made various controversial statements to different reporters. He talked about Trump Doral and said that his Miami property would host another LIV event this year. When asked how much he was paid to work with the LIV, Trump said that they were very generous, but he doesn't do it for the money. Oh, we believe you, Mr. Trump. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Phil Mickelson will go back to playing as well as he used to? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.